everybody to LinkedIn session number 2, which is we're going to focus on expanding your network today. We're going to probably go right up to the minute, but I do want to always, before we move forward with anything new, I don't want to leave anybody behind. So last week we focused on, the profile itself. So, I don't know how many people took the time to really go back into their profile and start adding all their accomplishments and experience and keywording. But I just, before we get started today, I want to at least take 2 or 3 minutes for, a quick Q&A on the profile. Is anybody struggling? Is anyone having a hard time, inputting or wondering where to put it? So I just want to make sure I'm here as a resource, because really that profile is critical to your success in getting people to accept your connection requests and your visibility on LinkedIn. So just want to put that out there before we enter into a new topic.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. Should we be on a pause until we're finished cleaning it up and fixing it up, or for the next 3 weeks, or should we just let it go? I mean, I don't want it to look bad, but I've had it on there for a while, just never paid much attention to it.
If you're gonna go the short and fast, like clean it up, like you had unexpected guests at the door and you needed to tidy up real quick, we would say focus on your picture, your background photo.
I mean, the whole profile. I finished session number 1, like half of it, and then there was a network error. So there's a lot that you were showing us, but while we're cleaning up the names and contacts. Yeah.
Yep. So did we still there?
Yeah. Should I pause it? Should we pause it while we're taking your sessions and getting it super clean? I'm not talking about running out for a minute. I mean, for the next 3 weeks.
Well, I'm not sure if I understand the question.
You're helping us a great deal by how to get our profile looking right and hiding what we should hide and making anonymous and things like that. So in the middle, we're learning more every week. Should we just keep it as active? I don't even know what it's called. If it's pause,
Well, I think, I would say, for today's session, I would try, not try to do any type of work while we're on the training, and then, build it out as you can, but that's why we're going to have the recording. But I just want to see if anybody is having any challenges with, where to put things, or where they can't find something, or they're not sure, where to classify information, right?
Okay.
I just wanted to give some quick feedback, Brian. I missed last week. I was in a GRI class, but I went back and watched the recording yesterday, and it was kind of fantastic to be able to pause and implement right there in real time whatever it was you were doing at that moment. So you were talking about profiles, and then I'd pause it and do my profile. And so I just wanted to give some feedback that it was very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that.
That's my girl, Sarah. Yeah, so you guys can actually, I think what Judy was asking is, does she need to just put it on pause and wait till it's perfect and the way she wants it? And I think what Brian's trying to say is, there's a couple key things that you can really focus on right off the bat that you just jump in and take care of, and then just build it as you go along. So it's not something that you should shut off, Judy. It's, you have an active profile, people are looking at, I don't think you want to go away, right?
Okay.
It's okay. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, I will
Okay.
not pause it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We definitely want to get in, because it's, again, the longer you wait, the further you will be behind. And there's a lot of opportunity in people's inbox right now within your network that you may not even realize that you were connected to, or had no idea. And really, when it comes to using LinkedIn, as next week we're going to talk about effective networking, and there's a lot of what I call transparent scripts that we're going to use, that you'll be able to reach out to people and simply say things like, I'm just getting started on LinkedIn, which is a true statement, right? And I happen to go through my network, and I didn't realize you and I were connected. And as a matter of fact, we've been connected for 5 years. And I've never had the chance to say hello. How's your day going? Is this, can we talk further? So it's really, easy ways to break the ice and create conversations rather than, using, scripting where we're, the door knocking techniques and the, do you know anyone in the area that's looking to buy or sell? We can get into those type of scripting too, which is, traditional in real estate, with the, the Mike Ferry systems and the Buffini systems and all of those. But we can create our own system on LinkedIn that fits your personality, and it's really catered to the people you want to do business with that are going to like you, whether or not they ever buy or sell, but they'll be either referral partners or potential clients. So that's why today we want to expand our network. But before we expand our network, we want to see how many people do we actually know. Because what I've seen on LinkedIn, and I may repeat myself on certain topics, but because I really want to stress the point is that I've seen people get on LinkedIn and they spend all day connecting. But before we connect with more people, let's find out who we actually know, right? So we want to go into our existing network and see what does our network actually look like. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you here at the dashboard, and I actually need to move this down. On the dashboard, you'll see my network, the homepage, jobs, messages. So getting familiar with LinkedIn is really this top dashboard and navigating. But when you click on my network, you're going to come to connections. So what I'd like everybody to do, if you want to, do this later, or if you have the capability to do it now, that's great. But you'll click on connections. I have 10,358 connections, right? So I've been, networking for 16 years on LinkedIn, and that's so obviously I don't know 10,000 people by first name. So what I need to do next is you'll see search with filters. So there's a lot of hidden icons on LinkedIn. The challenge I also see with people on LinkedIn is you can see it's busy, right? There's a lot of stuff happening here. So we really want to focus on intently on what are we looking for, and it'll appear. But there's a lot of hidden icons on LinkedIn where people miss them and then they get frustrated and say, I didn't understand it. So we'll really pay attention to what we're looking at. So first things first, as I said, you'll go to my network, you'll see your connections. You'll click on your connections, you'll see how many connections you have. And then you're going to search with filters. This blue button here, you'll click search with filters. Then you'll see all filters. That's the magic step right there, because after that people get lost, but you have to go up and click all filters. When you click all filters, you're now going to see on the side a pop out that says basically you can start sorting your data. So what I want everybody to do is just click second degree, and you'll go all the way down to the bottom and click show results. So everybody saw that I had 10,600 or 357 connections on LinkedIn. My second degree connections are over 1 million people. So what that tells me is I don't need to connect with more people, right? At least more people that I don't know. I have 10,000 second degree connections. So LinkedIn runs first degree, second degree, and third degree, meaning first degree, you and I are connected. Second degree, you're connected to someone that I'm connected to. So when you see the number second, it'll tell you that this particular individual, she and I have 28 or 29 mutual connections. So she probably is in similar circles in my network. So that'll kind of give you an indicator. And this person right here, 426 shared connections. So it will give you, some analytics. But that's still too many leads, right? 1 million, 90,000 people, right? So what I need to do is I need to go to all filters again, and I need to sort that. And I want to say, well, let's find just those people in San Diego, and let's find just those people in real estate, and let's find only broker. See the title, keyword broker? So now I'm going to click show results. And now I broke my million list down to 1,100, which is manageable. And that may still be a lot of leads, right? But I'm very focused on brokers in real estate in San Diego that I have a mutual connection with. So then I would just simply go through these lead lists and see, okay, I have 6 mutual connections. And I might even go as far as click on who they are and call them and say, hey, I was curious if you knew Celine Mercado, and they'll say yes or no. But even if they say no, that's still a nice phone call I can make to one of my connections I haven't talked to in a long time. So it would be, let's say it was Dia. Dia was connected to Celine. I would say, hey, hi Dia, Brian, Rachel, how are you? Listen, I was on LinkedIn, which is true statement number one, transparent script. I was looking for brokers in San Diego within my second degree network, and I saw that you knew Celine Mercado at Madison Pacific Properties. Do you happen to know her, Dia, by any chance? And you're gonna say, great friend of mine. I don't know her, but I'm connected to her. Okay, no problem. But if I get that warm lead where it works out that she really does know her well, that's great. Do you think she'd be someone that I would fit well with working with? Yeah, I'll make an introduction for you. Okay, great. And if not, if she says, well, I don't know her, Brian, unfortunately, I'm connected, but a lot of people I'm connected to, I don't know. Let's say, not a problem. I would then connect with Celine and say, I'm looking to connect with other San Diego-based real estate brokers. And it's all, again, there's no script here. It's really, I'm just saying exactly what I'm doing all along the way. So it's transparent. So that's kind of a mouthful of like taking you from here to here. We're going to do it again, because if you can master the advanced filters, you shouldn't have to pay for leads, right? And you should be able to find pretty much anybody you're looking for. I call it Match.com for business, right? Because you can find the perfect client, these parameters. All right, so we're going to go back. I see some things in the chat. Any questions? Okay, you'll just let me know, Dia, right? Okay, awesome, thanks. All right, so we went to my connections. Then we went to search with filters. I clicked on all filters. Let's go back here, clicked on all filters. And what I did was I clicked second degree. And then I was looking for geographic information about, where these people are, or maybe the current company. Maybe I only want to focus on someone in a particular company, or maybe I want to work with veterans, right? So let's add a company. Let's add, since I'm a former Air Force at Nellis Air Force Base, Las Vegas, right? So we'll do Air Force. We'll add location, Las Vegas. And in this case, I'm going to add third degree. So third degree means I don't know that person at all, and we have no mutual connection. So usually if you see third degree, it probably means that person's going to try and sell you something, because you have no other reason to be connecting, right? There's nothing usually there other than a business transaction. All right, so we're going to go down to third degree. And I'll hit show results. So by doing that search in Las Vegas with former Air Force veterans, I found 3,200 results. So then my connection request would be simply, I'm looking to connect with other US veterans. By the way, I was also stationed at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas. How many of you think they will accept my invitation request based on that? Probably a high amount, right? Because I'm pretty much saying, and people are going to go to my profile. They're going to look at it. Does he have a picture? Does he have a background photo? Does he have a little bit about himself where I would feel comfortable, accepting this connection request? So we kind of build from there when we expand our network. So we'll go back. So how we get there, I just want to take you through one more time. You'll click on my network. You'll see the little people icon. It'll show you how many connections you have. So you'll click on connections. It'll take you to your number. You search with filters, right? And then you're going to search with all filters. So I click search with filters, and it's going to show me search with all filters above that. And then I'll get the pop out. And I can just only search first degree, second degree, and third, or all of them. And I can get really creative. And if you don't see it listed, you can simply add the parameters here. And it's great to search by keywords, especially if you're looking for, a CEO, a CFO, a COO, or someone, that running a company. Maybe you want to get into relocation, things like that, right? So, but we want to go to your network, and then once you sort your network, you want to start seeing the people that you don't know but you've been connected to. So that would be the next step, is let's identify people within our network that we didn't realize we knew. And I don't know if there's someone out there, looking for a particular customer, or if someone wants to give an example of who they're looking for, I can sort the data for you and kind of show you what we're looking at. But we'll go first degree and second degree. You're in real estate. We're going to add location. So we'll do Las Vegas, and we're going to add Arizona. And then we're not going to add a current company or a past company, but maybe you went to school at UNLV. And then maybe you went to school at, who are the Sun Devils? ASU, Arizona State. And you're looking for people in IT, information technologies. And we're going to hit show results. So that's a very specific lead list. So if I'm focusing on, or if I hear that Las Vegas just was awarded the contract for a new startup or company for IT professionals, obviously that means two things. They're going to relocate, they're going to sell their house where they are and then buy a new house here, or they're going to have someone property manage their existing home. So this is a great opportunity if you're paying attention to, what's happening in the news or companies or, new speculations of movements. I have 142 results of people that went to UNLV or Arizona State that are in IT that are living in Las Vegas. So this is a great way to really crunch data. And here's the best part. We're not paying for this. This is still under your free version of LinkedIn. All you have to remember is that extra step, which is search with all filters, right? Use all filters. Otherwise, you would have to pay for Sales Navigator, which is $64.99 a month. So this is one great way to, to source leads. And the cool thing is a lot of people will start searching for leads, but then you don't take any action, right? So what I recommend is, you see how I had 142 results here. If you notice in the top, my browser, that long, very long coded link, that's my search result. So I'll actually copy that and I'll put it in an Excel or a Word document for later. And I'll put the title, Las Vegas, UNLV, Arizona State, IT, search results 142. So when I'm ready to do my prospecting, I can just plug that link into my browser and I don't have to go through those 4 steps again. It's just automatic. So you could share these leads with, if you have an assistant or a team, you can say, here's a link to all the people in Las Vegas who were in the Air Force that are CEOs. So again, save that link up top. You don't want to go in and do the search again. I always believe in picking it up once and then finishing it, or put it somewhere, but don't do it twice. All right, so there's my 142 results, but I really want to find people that I'm connected to, right? Because these are second degree people, even though I have mutual connections. I'm going to change my filter over here, all filter, and only do first degree. Click show results. Okay, so that only brought it down to 1, right? So now we're going to get into what I call the profile review. And we talked about the profile review a little bit last week, but now we're in that business networking mode, expanding our network. So here's Jim Gray. I'm going to click on Jim Gray's profile. All right, he's in IT. He's living in Phoenix. I'm going to look at his contact info. Okay, Jim Gray and I connected May 11th, 2017. So mind you, I've never talked to Jim. I don't know Jim, but we've been connected for a few years now, right? For about 4 years. So here's his websites. So I might want to click on his websites to see if they're working. So I'm not going to do that right now, but then I'm going to go down and we have 8 mutual connections. So I'm going to scroll through. Okay, Tara Johnson, that's a good reliable source for me to call Tara and say, hey, I was on LinkedIn. Do you happen to know Jim? Him and I have been connected for years. A couple other people here I could call. So that would be my first step. But if I didn't recognize any of these people, I would go back to the profile. And then I would determine, okay, is Jim my customer? Is Jim someone I want to reach out to? So he was with Realty One Group, started his own company, and he went to Arizona State. few certifications. So what I do next is, if I want to get on Jim's radar, I'm going to endorse him for a skill, cloud computing, and then click the X. So Jim is sitting at his computer right now in Phoenix, Arizona, and he just got an endorsement from me. And what do you think he's going to do? Who the heck is Brian Trachel? Right? Who is this guy? How do I know him? So I'm potential, and maybe he will, maybe he won't, but it took 20 seconds for me to get his attention. But what I'm going to do next is I'm priming the pump. So I will endorse somebody and I'll wait about 20 minutes, and then I'll go back to his contact information, which is right here. He doesn't have his phone number, so that's okay. He gave me his website. Bear with me with a website, okay? And there's contact us, right? Now, granted, it's a 1-800 number, but I'm sure I can get through because I know who to ask for. So I would call Jim. That would be, so first off is determine, is this a potential customer referral partner? Second, see who you know in common and find out if those people know them first. And then obviously reach out or endorse them for a skill, get on their radar, and then physically call them and say the same script we used about 10 minutes ago, which was, hi, Jim, this is Brian Trachel. I haven't been on LinkedIn lately, but with the pandemic, I've been spending more time here. And I was going through my LinkedIn connections and wondering who I knew from Arizona State, because I'm a fellow Sun Devil myself, and I'm really focusing on IT professionals in the Arizona area. And I happen to notice you and I actually connected May 11, 2017. So I'm way overdue for an introductory call to say hello. And I know it's out of the blue, so I hope it's not, I hope it's a good time, but I really wanted to say, I looked at your profile, I looked at your product, and I'd really like to learn more about you and your company and how we might be able to work together in the community. So that technically is my script, but 99% of that is all true statements. And I didn't once say, you know, do you happen to own property? Are you looking to buy or sell? I'm simply connecting with my database. And I have alternate script number 2, which is, I've been spending a lot more time on LinkedIn. I decided this year, since we've all been working from home, to spend more time and really get to know my connections. And it dawned on me that when I looked at my network, I didn't know everybody, and I'm really committed to getting to know everybody that are my first degree connections. And I see you and I connected in 2017. It looks like we have some mutual connections, and I just thought I'd say hello. How are things going? Now, in my experience with every client I've ever worked with that we've done this exercise where they picked up the phone and called, the shortest conversation has been 7 minutes. The longest conversation with a total stranger on LinkedIn I've seen go with as long as 45 minutes, which tells me that people want to talk, right? If we do it right. But what the mistake people make on LinkedIn is when they connect with people, they're trying to do 2 messages. So like, hi, Dia, I'm looking to connect with other real estate agents. And by the way, would love to do your title work. No, we just want to connect and build a relationship and then say, the reason I reached out was because I see this, this, and that. And I think it would be great if we touch base and see if we might be able to work together. And then you get the appointment. So we really have to create a sales process, but we don't want to try and do it in the first shot, because that's where people make the mistake. They send you links, they send you Zoom invites. We really need to build rapport with people first. And first, before we go outside of that, let's find people who we're already connected to, because somebody connected to somebody. I don't know if Jim sent me a connection request or if I sent one to him, but I don't believe in any point of connecting with people and not having any interaction. Otherwise, we're just collecting names and not doing anything. Okay, so back to Jim. Any questions on that point? I do see some things in the chat, but nothing. Okay. All right. So back to my network. That was just example number 1.
So I have one question. So there's a couple agents on here that are very specific about who they want to market to. Like, for example, like a horse people that are involved in horses. Can you put like just the word horses, or do you need to use like types of words like equestrian or some other types of words? Do you know?
Well, that's a great question, and it's really trial and error.
Okay.
So for that example, so LinkedIn is going to, whatever word you have in there is going to be, found in the search results, depending on how many times it's there. That's why when we talked about the personal interests under projects last week, you want to create under the project section, you know, horses, equestrian property, anything to do with horses, you know, different types of horses, thoroughbreds, this and that. Put that in your personal interest, because, you know, you might be found by someone else who's looking for something to deal with, you know, with that as well. But to answer the first question is, you have to go to all filters. So let me go ahead and get to those all filters. Close that out. So I'll go to all filters, and I'm going to get rid of Las Vegas, and I'm going to stay in the United States, and I'm going to go to title. So if I type in horse, show results, I find 26 people on LinkedIn with the word horse in their profile, but it's usually in their headline or something to do with horse, but that's still a good start. But I'm actually, you know, saving the real answer. So that's one option, but reality is we want to refresh. So let me just go. I was going to do an example for people who like to play golf. So these are groups, but instead we're going to go into a horse group. So Horse Lovers of the Business World has 23,000 members. So whoever asked that question, you want to join this group. And then you want to join the Horse Business Network. And if you're into horse racing, you can go here, or we try the word equestrian, right? So whatever your personal interests are, there's a group on LinkedIn. Equestrian enthusiasts, you know, almost 6,000 members. Equestrian professionals, again, almost 6,000 members. You can join up to 50 groups on LinkedIn. So this is a great place. Imagine if you're in this group and you get a listing for a horse property, and maybe it's not moving as fast as you want. You can go into these groups and say, hello, fellow equestrian enthusiasts. I have this great listing in Alpine, California for anyone who is looking to, put horses on this farm or whatnot. You know, please let me know. You could put some pictures or a video. That goes out to 6,000 people. And to me, that's not really spammy selling. I mean, it's a targeted market, and those people might be interested. And guess what? They don't all live in the same geographic location. So you're getting a big wide net, and it didn't cost you anything. So for you to post that, and imagine if I posted it here and here and here and all of the horse groups, there's 207 horse groups. So you can't even join that many. But if I took just the top 3, that would give me 6,000, 12,000, 14, 15,000 eyeballs on a 5-minute post. So when we get to, and again, we're going to cover that, and I think in the last session, your social media marketing, which isn't really social media, it's really strategic marketing on LinkedIn, and it includes these groups. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. And where you find that is at the top search bar, right? So anything you're looking for is going to be in the search bar. All right. Now, if you have a special interest, let's say you're into scuba diving. So treat it like Facebook, but it's B2B. So scuba diving, it's going to give me every result for scuba diving. And there, I want to search groups. There are 258 results for scuba diving groups on LinkedIn. It doesn't look like there's a lot of members here, so maybe scuba diving isn't the key word, which again is trial and error. So I'll just put in the word scuba. Okay, if you're PADI certified, there's 22,000 members on LinkedIn that are part of the PADI scuba divers. And guess what? They all have profiles. So if we get into these groups, you can actually start messaging them directly, start networking offline, and chances are they're probably a professional that is either looking to buy or sell. So you're going to get there because you both have an interest in scuba diving. So really anything, chess, reading. I mean, if you're in a band, you like to play music. I mean, sky's the limit. So really get into your groups and start attracting the customers that you would like to get along with, or, you know, maybe it's a fitness group or something like that. So really you can find anything on LinkedIn. You just have to know where to look for it and then what you're looking at. So we'll go into my groups. and where it says work. See, it doesn't say groups here, as I alluded to before. Well, they don't make it easy on LinkedIn, so people get frustrated. Like, where are the groups? What groups am I in? So you go to work, and then it'll say groups. So I believe I'm in 50 groups, and they're not that active all the time, but that's okay, because you know, you could be active in the group and kind of be the big fish in a small pond when it comes to your marketing within those groups. Okay, so we're gonna go with so there's one of my, you know, Red Sox fans, right? And so I'm gonna click on my Red Sox fan group. There's 1,742 members in the group. I can click see all members. Now they won't tell me where they're from, right? Unless it's in their headline, but I can say sales, and I didn't get any search results for that. So it's not 100%, but what I can do is sort through the group and look at their titles, right? And see how I can message them. That's a third-degree connection, meaning Jeffrey and I have nobody in common, but guess what? We're in the same group. So now I can send Jeffrey a message and I don't even have to connect with him. Hi, Jeffrey. We're both Red Sox fans in the same group. I saw that you're a consultant with Net Computers and notice you're living in XYZ state. Would love to connect. Or would love to hear more about, is there a good number to call you at? So I don't even have to connect with Jeffrey. I can just ask for his phone number and get that conversation going. All right, so again, there's a lot of functionality to joining groups, whether they're sports related or any interests on that. All right, and then I want to take you to the other one, which is alumni. So I have it here. I went to Eastern Connecticut State University, very, you know, state college in Connecticut. Alumni, there's 23,961 alumni from Eastern, but I'm living in Arizona now, right? So I want to put in Arizona. And I found 209 alumni from Eastern Connecticut State who are a long way from home in Arizona, right? And then I'm going to scroll down and it'll give me analytics, right here, 95 in Phoenix, where they work. And then it'll show me who they are right here. All these people went to Eastern Connecticut State. So then I could make a cut and paste. Hi, I'm a New England transplant living in Arizona, would love to connect with other Eastern alumni. Cut and paste. That's 207 cut and paste. I could do that in a couple of days, and I could probably get a few appointments from having conversations with those individuals, you know, kind of moving that forward. But I can also find out who's in real estate. So I'll hit Arizona real estate. Nope, wasn't able to get that one. So we'll type in, we'll put in sales. It doesn't want to load. So again, LinkedIn does have glitches, doesn't always work 100% of the time. Just refresh the page, do it again. But you know, your alumni card is a very great card. Your high school card is a very great card. Your veteran card, all of these secret handshakes that we have, or you know, common you know, denominators that we can reach out to people, not as a real estate professional or a mortgage professional or a title professional. We're simply connecting because we want to expand our network with fellow alumni or fellow, you know, Red Sox fans, etc. So any questions on that? Might be going a little bit fast, so I want to make sure if I need to slow down and go over, you know, some more things with you on that.
There's
One
one
quick
question.
Brian.
Oh, go ahead.
Brian, while you were doing that, I did research past schools, but I'm also trying to see about connecting with past organizations I volunteered at. Is there a way to connect that way?
Absolutely. Right. So LinkedIn, you can follow people, you can join groups, and you can follow companies, right? So I always recommend, you know, follow all the companies that you admire and you collect their icons at the bottom of your page. But if you're going after a company, so when I was in San Diego, of course, I mean, if you're from San Diego, everybody wants one company. Like if I could just get this account, I would be, you know, home free. And that account was always Qualcomm. Okay, so people like get me people from Qualcomm, right? So what you do is you type in the company, you click on Qualcomm. I'm already following them, so I would get their updates, right? So it says following, but you would just click follow. Now here's what is amazing, which again, if you really focus on specific target markets, Qualcomm has 38,579 employees on LinkedIn. So I'm going to click on the employee roster. Then I'm going to go to our old friend, all filters, right? And then I'm going to start my search. Let's see who I'm already connected to at Qualcomm, right? Let's see who I'm connected to that knows other people at Qualcomm. And let's see who at Qualcomm went to Eastern Connecticut State, right? Let me just find the college, school, Eastern Connecticut State, and I'm going to click show results. Okay, not surprising, that's okay. So now I'm going to go back to all filters. But if I put third degree, I'll click show results. So I'll try it one more time before I give up. Okay, what didn't that no one from Eastern is working at Qualcomm, so we'll get rid of that. So let me just do first and second degree, but maybe I can do I'll do United States Air Force for past company. Click Air Force, show results. All right, that gave me 3 results of people that work at Qualcomm that are former Air Force veterans in San Diego. So I've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting connected with these people, but I have 6, 7, 8 shared connections, 6 shared connections, and another shared connections. And luckily for me, I actually really know this person, so I could call her and ask them, do you know these people? Can you make an introduction? If I don't, then I will click on their profile and I'll begin my profile review one more time. And I won't, we won't be able to see the contact info. We both were in the US Air Force. He was in this, okay, and I can see when. He's been at Qualcomm for 30 years, been on the board of directors, right? And 81 to 85. So MIT, so guess what? Massachusetts Institute of Technology might be a Red Sox fan. So I got a good shot right there. I keep going through. He sponsors Little League Baseball. Okay, great. So I can use baseball terms, right? I just want to get a chance at the plate, see if I can get an opportunity to talk to you. I'm a former veteran and looks like you're from Massachusetts, so you might be a Sox fan, question mark. And then he might connect with me. Once he accepts my connection request, I have an opportunity now to take action, which is a phone call or a message and say, thanks for connecting. I see this, I see that. And then I can look at his interests, click see all. These are all the companies he's following. So I kind of get to see, okay, what's he paying attention to? 3M, and I'm following most of the same companies. Oh, he also went to the Community College of the Air Force. Vets Beyond the Uniform. I'm going to follow that one since I'm not, so I can piggyback on other people's. And then I can see what groups is he in. Maybe I want to join these groups. Well, he's in an architecture network, so maybe I use some architect terms in the way I present myself. So you're really getting a lot of psychological behavioral patterns from people, and it's going to tell you how to best present to them. What's their language? What does this look like? So again, we're going to talk more about this in effective networking, but expanding your network, if anything you take away from today is don't get on LinkedIn and you start seeing, you know, connect with people, because the reality is we already have enough people in our existing network that we can work with. And it's a warmer lead. It's an easier lead. And you might have something in common with that person. So, you know, I don't think anyone here is probably afraid of the phone if you're in real estate. I mean, that's part of the job description is we have to prospect. We have to prospect all the time. And how many people have fallen into the trap where you have a property in escrow, so you stop prospecting. So 45 days go by, you're in the transaction, boom, closes, get your check. Oh, no pipeline. So then you got to keep ramping up again. So LinkedIn is a great way for you to keep just micro touch points with your clients, whether you're endorsing them, or you're noticing something about their profile. I think we talked last week, which was, I didn't know this about you, or maybe we didn't talk about that, but I like to use the I didn't know this about you phone call when I go through people's profile. I'm sure I could jump on Rocky's profile and find some little fact about what he did volunteering or this that say, hey, I was on your profile. I had no idea that you used to be a baseball umpire. And he'd be like, oh yeah, I played ball back in the day. And it's a warm call. Brian, you still doing real estate? Oh yeah, I'm still doing real estate. How's it going? Great. Good. Well, good. Hey, nice to check in with you. Let's keep in touch. So it's really easy touch points for our prospecting versus sales calls. So that's how I look at my day, is how many touch points am I making? And at the end of the day, I've always said, because being a former title rep, I always said, it's like, when you're out there and someone's thinking, it's about visibility. Because when someone needs you, they're going to wonder, who in my network do I know is in real estate? And it's that person who is constantly talking to them or mailing them or whatnot that they go, oh, we got to call Rocky because he's always around. But when they have to ask you, are you still in real estate? That's a problem, right? It means we're not doing our job letting people know, or they're not seeing us. So LinkedIn is at least a lifeline where you can at least get some activity so your network still knows you're out there and you're doing things and you're relevant in the industry. So again, not here to offend anybody, just talking about personal experience with the pitfalls of some of the industry and what can happen. So we really have to make sure we're visible. But those groups, all these opportunities are relevant, or give us huge ways to stay in front of people without, number one, pay for marketing dollars, and it's instant, right? Just, I can endorse a few people right now and you'd be like, oh, Brian endorsed you. Who's Brian? Thanks, Brian. I wonder how Brian's doing. It's been a long time. So all of these things are happening when people get these little notifications. So,
yeah. So Brian,
question. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions. So one of them, kind of a great you just did a great segue for, is there like a way to tell when someone has not updated their profile recently? So can you kind of expand on that? And then also the other question was, is there a way to stop the marketing from coming in?
No, unfortunately, you'd have to delete that person, right? If you're constantly getting spammy messages from people, I have one in particular, he's probably reached out to me about 11 times. But, my response to that is, did you read my profile? My phone number is in there like 100 times. So if you're going to spend chasing me for 10 spammy emails, he's really not, that's an automated program. That's so, I really truly don't want to be working. I used to be like, okay, everybody join my network, but you get to a point where you really want to keep it really tight, because you'll know based on the connect. So a couple things, it's a great question, which is when you're accepting connection requests, if you don't have a picture and you don't put a personal message, I'm not accepting it anymore. I used to be more lenient, but we have to really, hey, if you're going to take the time to connect with me, at least say, would love to connect, but nothing is my first level of saying no, right? And then you can also tell when it says, I'm looking to expand my network, and it's very generic, you can almost bet that once you accept that message, you will get a follow-up email right away or message with them inviting you to a Zoom or sending you their newest book or their blog link or something like that. They never once said anything about you. Okay. And if we really want to go, like, again, if you haven't figured out, I'm very no filtered when it comes to training and really dialing into LinkedIn, because we just don't have time. Because I've been in situations where I have had so much spam in my inbox that I missed something, right? That was a legitimate lead or a legitimate request to work with me. So if you're letting those people, just remove them as a connection. Now, you're probably going to wonder, well, how do I remove them as a connection? So let me show you how to do that. And the person doesn't get notified. So Rocky, I'm going to pull you up just because you've already got yourself out there in the group. So let's say Rocky and I don't want to be connected anymore. And where's the button? How do I remove him? So you click the more button and it says remove connection right there. So that's the easiest way to do that. So again, those hidden icons, a lot of people don't see that more button, but it has a lot of functionality. Here's where you're going to get your recommendations. So we'll get more into that later, but remove connection. Rocky doesn't get a notification saying Brian removed you as a connection. That would just not be fair to, for the platform for that to be happening. So great question. I appreciate that.
And then
Any
there's-
other? Mhm.
Yeah, there was another one about, so you know how like on Facebook, they can always put this criteria in for groups. Does LinkedIn have something similar to that where there's a special process or certain criteria for joining certain groups, or can you just follow?
Well, the general rule is don't sell, right? Don't sell, don't promote. It's not, I mean, the minute you start selling anything on LinkedIn, you're going to get kicked out of the group, or you'll get a slap on the wrist. They'll say this forum is for collaboration, or this. You have to request to join. Is there a group I don't know who asked the question. Is there a group that they would like to join? Is there a special interest that they have? And I could show you what that would look like.
Michael, do you want to ask that question?
Okay, so let's say, how about D, is there a group you'd be interested in, whether, do you have a personal, favorite sports team or anything?
No, Green Bay. Packers. Yeah, I like
All
the
right.
Packers. That's my
Okay,
thing.
great. So we're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
Green Bay Packers. So don't fall into this is the company. That's where I would follow the company, right? But I don't want to follow the company. I just want to join a group. So I'm going to type in Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to see if there's a group on LinkedIn, and there is 10,800 fans. So I'll click on the Green Bay Packer fans, and I click request to join. And then they're going to go on my profile and look for something that would indicate I'm a Packers fan. And where you're going to find that is you have to put in your project's personal interests and add that description, Green Bay Packer fan, this and that. So anything to do, but they still might let you in even if it's not on your profile. But I always like to give myself, make sure hands down I'm going to get in, because this gives me access to almost 11,000 people. So Dia, once you get accepted into this group, you have this one magic silver bullet where you get to go into this group and go, hi, everybody. Thank you for letting me in the group. My name is Dia. I'm in Arizona. I'm in the real estate title insurance business. Would love to connect with any Packer fans in the area. That gets you a chance to get 10,000 plus eyeballs on that one post. And chances are you might find someone go, hey, I'm in Arizona. And then it goes right from there. Now, if you join these groups and you don't get in right away, or there's a delay, because then here's the group owners. So not only do I request to join the group, I connect with Jeff and Paul. Hi, Paul. I recently requested to join your group. Thought it would be great to connect with you too. So now I'm waiting to get in the group, but I'm also connecting with the group owner. And if I'm directly connected with the group owner, I can reach out to them directly and say, hey, Paul, great group, great idea. I see you're in the tax business, tell me more about that. But I can get direct relationships with the owners of the group as well. So there's client opportunities all over the place. So if you're a Green Bay Packer fan and you're in real estate, and Jeff, I click on Jeff's profile, and you're in Wisconsin, this is a good person to reach out to, because he has the audience of 10,000 plus Packer fans. So again, keep leveraging any opportunity you can, and we're going to get more, but they'll start to present themselves. You'll start to see things differently on LinkedIn. And the question I always ask myself is, what am I looking at? Like, what can this tell me about the person? What can this tell me about the opportunity? And I don't know Jeff, but believe it or not, him and I have 16 mutual connections. I can look at his profile. So I have time for this little trick, this little tip. You see how it says 500 plus connections? So we don't know, does Jeff have 501 connections or 5,001 or whatnot? The trick is scroll down through their profile. You'll see activity. See that 4,741 followers? It's really his connections, but LinkedIn disguises it as followers. So when I see this, that tells me Jeff is someone I might want to connect with because he knows 4,000 or 5,000 people. So he's got a pretty good network. So that's one of my indicators when I'm accepting connection requests too. Well, maybe they're not in my industry, but he has 5,000 connections. So yeah, come on in, because it only helps me. It just gives me more visibility. And then I look at his profile, look at his interests, like what companies is he following, et cetera. So that profile review is standard issue, right? Don't call anybody before you link their LinkedIn profile. Always review. Maybe you'll find some interesting things that they're following. And I'm sure if we go on his interests and look at companies, it's going to paint a picture. And that picture right off the top is this guy is in healthcare, right? So if you're targeting healthcare professionals, but guess what? If you're a healthcare professional, he's a Packer fan. So let's look at his groups. Work Anywhere, I should join that group, right? Okay, Fox Sales Masterminds, Chamber of Commerce, MMA. So now there's the second layer. He's into MMA. He's definitely into sales best practices. And then there's the Green Bay Packers fan, and he's the owner of this group on top of that. So again, if you can't, I get really excited about the opportunities, because if we just spend a little bit of time crunching that data down, you can play with a ton of different matrix, right? You can find someone who's a Packer fan, who's a CEO in IT, who's a former veteran who used to work at Wells Fargo. I mean, I can put in, 10 different search parameters and really tee up the perfect candidate that, at least, if anything, they're going to accept your connection request, and then you can kind of take it from there. But you really want to make sure we're not just arbitrarily saying, oh, I should connect with that person, and don't send a message, or just tell me why. What is it? What was your, why are you reaching out? And how can we work together? And a lot of times I'll pick up the phone and call people after they accept my invitation. Throws people off guard. What? I wasn't expecting you to really call me, right? So really, take advantage of the element of surprise.
I think one of the things that's a takeaway for me, Brian, is that a lot of times we think like we're snooping or stalking on, if I'm looking at somebody's profile and checking out their business. And I think what you're showing us is that that's what this is for. And people expect you to do that.
Yeah, and also I've said, hopefully everyone set their privacy settings to private, so they're not going to know you're looking at them. And the whole reason this is here, LinkedIn was set up to have your own concierge service, right? Who do I know in my network that's a CPA? Okay, I'll find, hey, we're connected, or someone knows a CPA. And it was really about, connecting professionally, hey, kind of having your own mini BNI network, right? Within your own ecosystem. But it kind of went out of control with people connecting, but no one was taking any action. But the reality is that, especially now with the pandemic and where we've been, is there hasn't been a place to go to meet people. So let's see who we've connected to in the past and just take the chance and say, hey, I know we connected 7 years ago, and I honestly don't remember why or how, but I've been going through my network, and I really saw that you had some mutual connections, and you're in IT, and I'm really looking to work in the IT space. Would love to touch base and, see if we can have a conversation. And I think they're going to say, sure, why not? But I call them room temperature leads. They're not warm, they're not cold, but you're connected at least, right? It's better than email marketing sometimes. So yeah, just have some fun with it, because people are very responsive as long as you're not trying to sell them. And there may be an awkward pause. So I take the elephant out of the room. Hi, Dia. This may seem out of the blue and awkward. This is Brian Trachel. You probably don't remember me. We actually connected 6 years ago, but nonetheless, I'm taking my LinkedIn more seriously. And I saw you were living in Las Vegas and went to MIT. Was curious if you were a Sox fan or this and this. And yeah, it's awkward, but how does cold calling feel, right? I think you're muted, Dia.
No, cold calling's worse, right? This
Right.
is easier.
So if you were to do role play and scripting and cold calling sessions in your real estate career, This is way easier. At least you would have something about the other person that you can use as an anchor versus you're just, all you know about this person is that they have a house and they've owned their house for 5 to 7 years. And that's it. You know, do they want to buy or sell? Right. And I'm sure there's better scripting than that, but regardless, these are way easier and they're a lot more fun. And believe it or not, people will be receptive to it. So try it out and we'll see how it goes. Questions, I know I'm going to go over like 1 minute, but I just want to make sure everybody had a pretty good sense of how to navigate the advanced filters, because that's where it's at, is navigating in your data mining. And then after that, you can search beyond that in groups, look at company rosters and find people throughout the company. So it's unlimited.
Brian, thank you very much. You answered my questions. Dia, I appreciate you asking for me.
Absolutely.
I didn't get to the mute button fast enough. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This is wonderful. This is a whole new layer of LinkedIn. I just thought it was all about connecting with real estate agents till today.
Fantastic. There's somebody wanted to ask how to join your coaching program, Brian. So you want to give yourself a plug on that?
Well, yeah, so I have to create that coaching program probably. So I don't, yeah, I'm definitely, if I work with teams, groups, companies, right? So it just depends on how people want to learn, but I can put together, you know, another 4-week coaching program. I can put together a 2-hour session, depending if you just want particulars on a particular area. So I do have a la carte, you know, coaching services. I do have, you know, 4 to 6 week coaching programs, and sometimes I have ongoing because people really want to get deeper into their weekly activity and they want that accountability on LinkedIn. So I'd be happy to talk to anybody about options and things like that. So appreciate you asking. But yeah, if you want to message me on LinkedIn or on my Gmail, I could definitely kind of see what you were looking to get out of it, because I want to really customize it either for you or your group or your company.
So a quick question, how much to be effective on LinkedIn, how much time should I spend on it every day?
I get that question a lot, and actually next week I'm gonna give you that formula. But as a precursor, if you spend a minimum of 7 minutes a day, you will see some success on LinkedIn. I particularly would advise, you know, 1 hour per day or 1 hour per week. It's just still more than 7 minutes per day. So any combination like that. But what I've found is that once you've gone through that LinkedIn graduation, where you've gotten past I thought it was this and now I see what it can do, most of my clients are spending about 2 hours a day on LinkedIn. It's their only sole purpose of business development is using LinkedIn, because everything's in one place, right? So you can, and then you can create your CRMs, you can create your calendar, your time blocking. So LinkedIn, you know, 7 minutes to 2 hours, you'll be highly successful with opportunities.
Awesome class. I did drop in the chat.
Class, Brian.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
dropped in the chat also the link for the registration for next week, same time, same place. We still need you to register. I will be, as soon as the Zoom recording shorts itself up, I will be sending out a confirmation email with today's recording and the registration link for next week as well. If you missed the first one and just joined on this one and you want the first recording, please email me at dia@rocktitle.com and I'll happily send out our email from last week. Thank you, Brian. Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome
Yeah,
class.
please connect with me if you haven't. The more people connected, the more I have an awareness of, and I can track your activity. And a lot of times I'll call people out of the blue and go, need to change this. This isn't working, by the way. So I'm always spot checking people's profiles and activities. So, you know, let me know if I can help that way too. So please connect with me and I'll see everybody next week. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.